Good morning, Mike, and thank you so much for kicking this off with us. So we thought that this would be like a really fun way to connect with our community, spread how everybody's feeling, but also spread our unity and that we're like all in this together.
Sounds
So
good. Well, welcome to my backyard, and I'm happy to be in your personal meeting rooms, which are
yeah,
actually rooms.
we'll just set it right off. And what is and how did you like come up with building the revolution? Give us a little background on like where that came from.
Yeah, Building the Revolution is a community of surf shop supporters, of everybody just basically working together to spread the word that it's important to support our local surf shops, because without them, there would be no industry, and we need them for our surf culture and to just keep everything going in a positive direction. Because once you get rid of the surf shops and you stop supporting them, you really cut off the heartbeat and the main source of everything good about the surf industry. It started mainly because, like most surfers, I had big surf dreams, and as I got older, I worked my way into a job in the industry. And this comes from not having some big college degree or anything like that. It just came from a passion for surf shops and surfing, and just the love of what I did. And I got my first job. Well, my first job was profiling surfboards and being a team manager, but my first real job was working at Ocean and Earth. And I started there as just in-house sales, did team manager, worked my way up to sales manager. And if it wasn't for all the surf shops that I worked with on a regular basis, I wouldn't have a career today. So Building Revolution started off with a thank you to the surf shops, and again, reminding people how important it is to support our local surf shops and our local community and our surf culture. And that really goes for any shopping local, for any business that you have passion, or just in general.
It's just like such a family, and it's a worldwide global family, so it's been very different.
I agree. I can't wait for this pandemic to be over so I just go visit some of my favorite surf shops again. I had so many things in the works that I was doing, from filming In the Rafters, which is a little segment I've been doing on my Instagram, where we just basically tell stories about the boards that are in the rafters of the shop. Can't do that now. I can't walk in there right now and say hi. I couldn't imagine if I couldn't walk in there ever again and say hi.
Yeah.
So again, it's really important to support our local businesses, and for us who are passionate about surf and beach culture, to really support our local surf shops.
So right about all local business, but we wouldn't know with like out our industry. It's such a community connection.
Right.
Like you
said, you have a passion for it, so it never feels like work. What I mean? You feel like you're at home when you're working at the surf shop or the surf industry. And I think about, wow, I don't want to work outside the surf industry. I could, and I could find joy working outside the surf industry, but I love the surf industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't felt like I've worked in the last 20 years. Don't get me wrong, there's days where it feels like work, but
yeah,
I get up every day, I'm excited to do it, and I don't mind the grind. I don't mind the hustle, because I'm enjoying every second of it. And it's like I said earlier, it's all passion. And surf shops, and even you guys, your surf shop was born out of passion. It wasn't born because you were looking to make $1. You were like, I love this. I want to do this. I want to spread this joy to other people.
Definitely. We always are, just to go with the community aspect, we always have like a little nook. We're doing the layout for our flagship location right now, and we're like, where are we going to put the nook? Because for us growing up, the surf shop was so much more. Like, it was a safe place we could go on good or bad days. You knew you had a friend. What would you say? Like, obviously we all love the surf industry and we've chosen to stay in it throughout our lives. What do you think makes it so special?
Again, I think it comes back to passion. When you really think about a surf shop was started by a surfer who had so much passion for it that he wanted to make that his career, or she wanted to make that her career. And when you start working out of passion, you're spreading joy to other people, and you're spreading knowledge because you love it, not because you're reading a manual. the OAM traction pad or the ProLite traction pad or the Ocean Earth traction pad, you're not getting a guy that's just reading you the back of the box. You actually got a human being in a store who's passionate about these products that can actually tell you about them because, one, they've used them, and two, because they love it. You know what I mean? I guess it's basically the difference between working with a robot who's trained to read a manual or working with somebody who actually cares about what they're doing. Imagine if a day ever came where you had to buy all of your surf products from non-surfers.
No.
Imagine buying ballet gear from a hockey player. Now imagine buying ballet gear from somebody who's just reading a manual. I mean, something different besides surfing, but it works for every industry. You know, I did a post a long time ago that said, like, you know, I don't know, like, I've a lot of posts, but it's like, you know, you don't go to a surf shop for a duvet cover. You would go to a place that sells that stuff. That's so why would you go to a department store to buy surf stuff?
Yeah. I love that the surf industry has so much history, or people working in it that's carrying on that history and that tradition. And that's, again, huge. Not something in our busy, bustling culture that gets to always get kept up with.
Yeah. And you know, you asked earlier, like, why is it important to keep surfing in the hands of surfers is kind of, if you really think about it, I mean, there would be no surf industry if it wasn't for surf shops. Think about the history of the surf shop. You know, it first started off with people selling boards, and what were they going to sell their boards out of? And then they maybe sold their surfboards t-shirt. And then, you know, I don't want to say this was the first, but let's say, you know, you go all the way back to the days when Quicksilver came out and some of these brands first came out, and they said, hey, you know, Bob McKnight was like, I'm going to license these board shorts from this brand over in Australia. And then he went and sold them to the surf shops. And Caton, you know, did the same thing, and Billabong and all these brands, OP, all these brands back in the days, they sold their products. Where did they go? They went to the surf shop, and the industry was born. Because now surf shops weren't just selling their own private label and their own surfboards, they were selling brands for other people. Way before the internet, way before direct sales, and a culture was born out of these temples of Stoke that we live today. So if you don't keep surfing in the hands of surfers, there will not be a surf industry. Don't get me wrong, there would still be a culture on the beach and still be a culture with shapers. And maybe it would go back to where surf shops were just the shapers selling their own product. I don't know, but I think you really have to. The surf industry was born out of surf shops. That's basically.
Yeah.
And it's super special. How we grew up on a small beach that was very like locals only. Do you surf? If you don't surf, why are you coming in here? Yeah. So like being down here in Tampa in Florida has been really cool and different for us because it's like great weather and people going on trips and surf trips and the surfers coming between like their different work and job and school things that we get to meet over here. So it's been really nice to at least adapt on that side a little bit to get to deal with multiple types of people.
Right. Well, I think you hit on an interesting point though, like where when you first grew up, you know, the surf shops were like, this is how I read what you were kind of saying. It kind of like they're intimidating to go to because if you didn't surf, you didn't go there. In two ways though, I mean, you might have been looking at it like, wow, that's awesome. I want to go in there. And even with Building the Revolution, like we don't make a ton of product, but I say we all the time. It's just me. It sounds like it is we when you think of a community of people, but there's one guy behind the Instagram. I make, you know, limited edition t-shirts and hats, and we only sell them to surf shops. I mean, I don't even sell them directly.
I love that.
And the goal is not the intimidating factor, but there's something special there. And if you want to be part of this community, you have to go into a surf shop to buy it. You can't get it online. You can't get it at Amazon or Macy's or Nordstrom or any of these major retailers. If you want to be part of this community, well, granted, you can be part of the community just by supporting your local surf shop by buying anything. But if you want a Building the Revolution t-shirt, you have to buy it at a surf shop.
I love that.
You kind of didn't feel welcome, but at the same time, you wanted in. You wanted to get
supposed to be special.
You want to be part of the club, and that's what we hope to do with our t-shirts too.
And I love that you help drive business into who actually started and created the idea.
And again, I mean, just thinking about, you know, shopping local, majority of the time, those local shops make local purchases, and they're going to buy things that you can only get in those communities. Like all the way from handmade candles to their local, their own t-shirt to maybe, just the guy starting off making his own little brand down the street. You're not going to find that stuff at a department store or a major chain. You're going to find local brands at local shops that you're not going to find anywhere else.
I think it's moved to a place where like we want to share what the connection to the beach, the waves, the ocean is all about. And I think even Ricky and I were talking about this the other day during this whole quarantine experience, our connection with the beach and knowing how to live slow and appreciate the little things, which is so in the surf culture, has really helped us through this period of like not being able to go and do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're like, oh, we'll watch the sunrise today, and we're happy. So I love sharing that with people, and it's cool to see people start connecting with the ocean if they didn't grow up in it.
Absolutely.
So I guess just what would you say one goal is for Building the Revolution for the next year, if you have
one? The overall goal with Building the Revolution is, as I said earlier, this is a community of surf shop supporters. And my main goal is to keep growing the community. Just one person at a time, one person, one shop at a time, just continue to grow this community. On the other side, I would like to take my product up another notch and maybe offer a few more shirts and hats, because I only do limited runs and release things every so often. That'd be nice, mainly because I got laid off from my job. So it'd be nice to sell a couple more shirts. But, the overall mission of Building the Revolution is simply just grow the community, keep spreading the word, keep getting people to, remember the importance of supporting local and to go in and to make that purchase. Everyone's like, oh, you get better deals online. It's not true. No. You know how many deals I get at surf shops just because I've been a loyal customer for so long, for 30 years, or, hey, I've seen you twice. Let me give you a deal on this. Like, surf shops are always willing to work with you. All your local stores are. So I know I went on a little tangent, but it's really just spreading the gospel to the unchurched, getting that word out there that you need to support local and growing the community one person at a time. I invite everybody to check out the Building the Revolution Instagram and follow, because there's a conversation going on there and in the comments, and people are talking back and forth. And but I totally realize that I do have one other goal too. I've been working on, my website, where just working on speaking to the conversation. That's becoming more of I've been calling it a portal of positivity. That's how I've been using it.
I love that.
I'm reaching out to people and doing interviews and letting people in the industry write stuff and tell their stories and share letters back to the industry. So, even today, it's 6:20 my time. An interview with Corey Higgins from Jetty Clothing just went live on my website, talking about his Rising Tides campaign.
Really cool.
And how they're using that to give back to the surf shops that, are facing financial burdens right now. So that's another goal, is grow the website and grow the community that way. Let shops tell their story, let industry people, reps, and just, again, keep spreading positivity, spreading the word, growing the community one person at a time, one day at a time.
I love that.
Heck yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
You've been like my inspiration and guiding light through the past few years of figuring out my whole side of this while we built Sand.
Remember, though, talking back and forth with you all these times and not telling you who I was. It was cracking me up. I'd see you at shows and I'd be like, yeah, there's Ricky. She has no idea I do the Building the Revolution page, because I kept it anonymous. Anonymous? I hate that word. Anonymous for like 6 years. This year I finally start showing my face and, signing my name.
Years. I did not.
Yeah, because then I loved the page and wasn't making the connection, so that was pretty funny too.
Well, the reality, especially while trying to organically build a community, the message is always more important than the person behind it. When I first started off, if it wasn't for the surf shops, I wouldn't have a career. There is no Building the Revolution without surf shops. So I just kept myself, silenced in the background, and we just post stuff. It's about the community, not about one person.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you guys. I hope you have a great day, and hopefully I'll get on a plane soon and come out and get to actually walk in your store and see you guys in person inside Surf Expo or Miami Swim or one of these other shows I always see you guys at.
Oh, yeah.
All my favorite words.